Okay viewers, hello. Today I am with one of my students, Dipali. She is doing her SSB course in RS Defenceselect Academy, and she has come with me for some SSB interview questions. So these questions will not only help her in her SSB interview, but it will also help our viewers who have subscribed to our channel or who would come across this video. So tell me, what is the first question that comes to your mind when you have to think about facing the SSB interview?
So the very first question that comes in my mind is obviously the rapid fire question. How to answer the rapid fire question?
Okay. First, let me tell you that the rapid fire question won't be the first question that is asked to you. The first question that is going to be asked to you would be just to make you comfortable and get you adjusted with the interviewing officer's room. So the moment you come and sit down in the interviewing officer's room, he'll ask you one or two simple questions. For example, what is the meaning of your name? Or he may ask you, how was your stay? Or how have you done in your test in the SSB? And then would come a rapid fire. So rapid fire is sometimes also called a volley of questions. Basically, it is 10 to 14 questions which are asked at one go. So generally, first rapid fire would be given to you on your education, sports and games that you participated in your school and college, and extracurricular activities in which you participated in your school and college. So let's see, how would a rapid fire question on education, sports and games and extracurricular activities look like? It would be something like this. Dipali, let's begin with your education. So tell me all about your education starting from 8th class onwards. How did you prepare for your exams in 8th class, 9th and 10th? What were the difficulties that you faced and how did you resolve them? Tell me which were the subjects you liked most and which were the subjects you did not care so much about. Which subject did you take for your 11th and 12th? And how did you prepare for your 12th board? And what were the difficulties that you faced and how did you resolve them? Also tell me about the subject that you chose for your graduation, and tell me about your preparation for various semester exams. Also tell me about your preparation for various competitive exams, and what were the difficulties that you faced and how did you resolve them, and what was the result of all these exams. Also tell me about various sporting and games activities that you took part in your school and college. And also tell me about various extracurricular activities that you took part in your school and college. So this would be one question. And as we have heard this question, you must have realized that you know answer of all these questions, isn't it? Yeah, you know answers of. But what is the difficulty that a candidate face there? The difficulty is this, that you know the answer, therefore when the interviewing officer is asking you a question, you tend to think about the answer. And for the brief moment when your mind wanders to the answer, you are able to listen to the question, but that doesn't register in your mind. And therefore you will forget the sequence or you will miss out one or two questions in between. So the trick lies in that you listen to the questions. Once he finishes, then only start thinking about the answers. So then recall, which was the first question? Start answering and keep recalling and keep answering. Because you know answers of all these questions, you won't have any difficulty. So I think if you go by that, you would be systematic. And in some cases, when you forget one odd question, you can always request the interviewing officer, sir, I think I'm forgetting one or two questions. Can you kindly repeat them? I think that would be the best way to answer rapid fire. Okay, Dipali, if you can ask your second question.
So, why the interviewer asks us personal questions?
Actually, very few candidates are asked personal questions, and we don't want to infringe upon your personal affairs. And if at all a personal question is going to be asked to you, it would always be towards the middle of the interview or towards the end of the interview. And how to answer a personal question. So one thing is for sure that the interviewing officer is intrigued about some officer-like qualities of yours, because of which he is asking you a personal question. So let us first understand which all OLQs is he concerned about if he is going to ask you a personal question. One would be your social adaptability. Second could be your speed of decision. Third could be your sense of responsibility. Fourth could be your cooperation, and of course reasoning ability. So let's see what would a personal question look like. For a male candidate, it would be, do you have a girlfriend? And in your case, he may ask, do you have a boyfriend? And if not, why so? So then the candidate is in a dilemma. If he has a girlfriend, how to answer that? So my suggestion to you is that you should look at your age and then answer appropriately. If you are an NDA candidate, then I think you won't be on a good moral wicket answering that you have a girlfriend. However, if your socio-economic background is such that you are from a very modern family, then I don't think there is a harm even for an NDA candidate to have a girlfriend. Now you would say, why so? Why do we give a leeway to a person who is from a good socio-economic or educational background? The reason is this, that in families which are modern and which are on a good socio-economic, the candidate would be able to share the details of his girlfriend with his parents. Wherein generally a candidate who does not come from a very good socio-economic background, a girlfriend would be a taboo in his house. And therefore, we do not want a candidate who hides from his parents. So this candidate, if he has a girlfriend and he is not shared that he has a girlfriend with his parents, then naturally he is not on a good moral wicket. And a similar answer could be chosen by somebody like you. If you don't have, you can always say, I don't have. There's no harm, or they would not think that if you don't have a girlfriend, then probably you're not a likable person, or if you don't have a boyfriend, then you're not a likable person. That is not what they are trying to judge. What they are trying to judge, that if you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, are they of your status? Are they helpful in your career, or are they pulling you back? How much time do you spend with them? And what is the kind of activities that you do with them? Both of you should be able to take and move forward towards common goals. And that is what friends are about, whether they are a boyfriend or a girlfriend. I think anything else which comes to your mind on this question?
So what if they ask about something more intimate, like if they ask that have you ever had sex or something like that?
I don't think they would ask something like that. But yes, they might ask you what all activities do you go, and I think in such a case it is always good to reveal as much as you would reveal to your mother or father, because finally the interviewing officer is a senior person, and I don't think there would be any problem if you do not reveal the exact relationship. Having a girlfriend, everybody understand what is a girlfriend, everybody understand what is a boyfriend, and if he just wants to go a little deeper, first thing, let me tell you, he won't. It's just a scare that you have, what if he does? And so then you can answer the way you would reply to your parents. I think that much should be enough. Okay, so you should tell about your weaknesses, but don't tell them like this, that my communication skills are weak. Instead, tell that I need to further improve my communication skills in English, for which, add this, for which I am reading English newspaper daily, I am watching English news, I am also watching some documentaries in English regarding defense affairs, and that way I am trying to come to better standards. So this is how you should tackle a weakness. Just don't tell your weakness. If you just, and please, for God's sake, don't tell weaknesses like, my handwriting is bad, or I am a poor learner of music. The interviewing officer is not interested whether you know music or not. What are the weaknesses that come in your way towards your goal? And your goal is becoming an armed force officer. So we should be telling weaknesses about those things which will come as a hindrance to us becoming an armed force officer.
Interview, if the interviewer asks us about any government policy, whether we like it or not, should we criticize the government or that particular government policy?
My answer would be no. Actually, not only should we not criticize a government policy or a particular government, but also not even a person, because we should be able to see what constructive ideas we can give. So whether you are in a group discussion, please do not criticize a policy or a government. Whether you are in a lecturate, and similar thing is in the interview. So let me take an example. For example, it is a common knowledge that the poorest of poor are sometimes deprived of Manrega money. That means they do not get the allotted number of days of work which they should get. Yeah, it's a common knowledge. So instead of saying that Manrega has failed or government has not correctly implemented Manrega, why don't we say like this, that I think if the poorest of poor get a bank account, then they will be able to get money directly into the bank account, and less money would go to wastage, and we would also come to know that the poorest of poor have got the prescribed number of days of job under Manrega scheme. So that is a much better way of putting up a negative thing and bringing it out. The question?
Sir, I'm just having one last question.
Okay.
Sir, if the interviewer asks us that why do you want to join armed forces, what should be my perfect answer to them?
This is the simplest of questions. So yes, but everybody thinks that just because it's a simple question, we should try and answer differently. No. The answer would always start with that I want to join armed forces because I love my country and I want to serve it in best possible way. And there's no best way other than joining the armed forces as an officer and then serve our country. Now, certainly, all the candidates think that this is what every candidate would do. Yes, because this is the first priority for every candidate. But there are other priorities as well. For example, you want to join armed forces because you should be able to work on most modern equipment. So you should know that if you're going to join Air Force, then what are the modern aircrafts with the Indian Air Force? If you're going to join Indian Army, the equipment of the Indian Army including tanks, guns, etc. If you're going to join Indian Navy, then you should know names of some battleships, submarines, some aircrafts which are with the Indian Navy. And this is your probably the second priority. The third priority for most students is that they want an adventurous life. They don't want a 9-to-5 job, and they want to be pride of this nation, because when you're serving with armed forces, everybody looks upon you and they say, oh, you're an officer in the Indian Army, very nice. So you want to be pride of this nation, and you would, as an officer, when you come back to your community or to your area, you feel so proud. And another reason which could be, and which should always come last, could be the pay and perks that Indian Armed Forces offer to us. They offer really good pay and perks, especially after the 7th Pay Commission. So I think these are reasons good enough, and I think the first two priorities should remain the same for everyone. You have to prepare for this question, because you just can't say I want to have an adventurous life and I want to work on the modern equipment, and you don't even know what the modern equipment are. So a little amount of work you'll have to do. But I think this way you will be answering this question in a best possible manner. And does that satisfy you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Definitely.
So to my viewers, I'd like to say that there would be several other questions which would be coming to your mind on personal interview. You can always note my number, which would be scrolling down below, or you can, because that's my WhatsApp number, or you can also put your questions in the comment section. I will certainly like to answer them. I'm mentoring students both online and offline. You're free to come for a personalized mentoring. Thank you.